race to win for you and me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Scoops Aflw trade update. Now, you heard that North song. You're probably wondering, why are you playing that? Congratulations again to the North Melbourne AFLW side for winning their inaugural maiden AFLW premiership. Great to be there. Great to be amongst it the day after they won as well, a lot of the players. And congratulations to the Roos again. But now we venture on into the trade period. And I made a lot of posts throughout the last few weeks about some players that may be moving, will be moving, have retired, have been delisted, everything like that. I've had some exclusives along the way. I'm going to go through all the news the last few weeks, including as recent as yesterday as well, because the trade period starts tomorrow on Thursday, runs for 5 days, and then we got the draft on Monday, December 16th. So there's still a lot of AFLW trade and draft content to come. So I'm really looking forward to covering it all for you all. And to be honest, I'm the only page that does it. So now, please subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Please leave a like, subscribe. Follow my Instagram page, AFL Info Live. I would greatly appreciate it if you don't already. You'll be up to date for post to post of when everything is happening from the trade period starts tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to covering it all for you all. So I've got a lot of names to go through, but I want to mention off the top my exclusive stories that I had mentioned in the last week. I had mentioned that Bella Smith, the Swans tall, has interest from Fremantle, and they're trying to get her. That story has now been confirmed yesterday or in the last few days by other reports, because now you can throw in Geelong, Carlton, and North Melbourne, who are trying to secure the services of Bella Smith. An exclusive I can tell you all again today is that a brand new one that I haven't even posted about yet as of this recording. Courtney Jones from the Richmond Football Club will be on the way out after not being offered another deal at Richmond, which is a shame because I thought she was a really good player for Richmond. Been through a few clubs though, Courtney has. She'll find her feet at another club, and hopefully another club does want the small forward because she's a very handy small forward for the Tigers. So there's another exclusive for you. Also, I had mentioned in the last week or so that Darcy Maloney from Geelong had strong interest from Sydney. And as I exclusively revealed last week, the Eagles are trying really hard to secure the services of Darcy Maloney. Now, the Swans are still the favourite, but that hasn't stopped the West Coast trying. And my report from last week was confirmed again yesterday or the day before that West Coast is still trying to get Darcy Maloney. See, 3 exclusives that I've just mentioned right now that are all correct. And there's many more that I've said throughout the time, so I know what I'm talking about. I don't make things up. I only post exclusives when I am confident of what I'm writing is correct. So there's another one for you. Now, let's go through some others. Lulu Puller is set to join Sydney as the Swans are going to be really, really active in this year's trade period. They're going to lose a few good names, and they're going to gain some handy players as well. Lulu Puller is one that Sydney are expected to sign from the Roos. Lulu was, a really handy player for North, but just fell out of the team at the wrong time. And because of how strong they are, couldn't get back in. And when Emma Carney was coming back, she was the only name that was probably going to come back, as she's the captain and a veteran defender. Her Roos teammate, Liz McGrath, Ruckman, is set to join the Eagles. I find that very interesting that the Eagles are going for another ruck. I would have thought that they would, try and get a number 1 ruck. But now they've got another backup option. So I wonder how the Eagles are going to go with the ruck next year. Will Lauren Wakefer plays the number 1 ruck. Georgie Cleaver was playing as the number 2. Sarah Lackey played some games as well. So Sarah Lackey, too, set to now stay at the Eagles. So they're going to have 3 ruckmen and Georgie Cleaver. I find it interesting to see what mix they're going to go with, though. Crows veteran Najwa Allen has requested a trade to the Hawks. St Kilda are trying to get contracted bomber speed star Amber Clark, who has a year to go on her contract. If the Saints can pull off securing the services of Amber Clark, a really speedy small forward, that's what the Saints need. They lack speed in their team, and Amber Clark can provide great speed. Met Amber before. She's a great person. It'll be great to see her at the Saints. But Essendon apparently holding her firm to her contract, but the Saints are playing bold this trade period, according to reports, and that's what I love to see. Secure the players that aren't getting utilised to their best ability at some other clubs. And I feel like Amber is better than how Essendon are giving her a go. St Kilda, while on the top of the Saints, they have got 2 players that have requested trades to the Saints. Charlotte Bascaran from the Hawks, young speed star that plays through the midfield, 21 years of age. I like the inclusion of Charlotte to the club when it does officially go through. Nicole Barr from the Giants, a veteran, 28 years of age, a midfielder that can play in the back line as well. The Saints do need some support in the midfield, so this is a good start. But I feel like the Saints need to go target Mattia Breed, who is a player also from the Hawks, a young star midfielder that has offers from rival clubs. I'm trying to find out who. But the Saints should be looking at Mattia Breed on top of the names they already got. I would have, obviously can't get everyone. So I would have prioritised getting Mattia Breed over the line over Barr. If you can get all 3, that's great. But, you have to delist more players or trade players out. I feel like St Kilda should have delisted a fair few more players that are on that list right now that haven't been cut. So I find that I should trade some out. That's what I would do. Richmond are targeting bomber Paige Scott, a forward who is out of contract. Richmond support up forward with Hosking and Brennan and Greiser and Yasia. That could make their forward line even more damaging. I feel like their forward line, Richmond, isn't a concern for them, but hey, more good options in the forward line. That's great for them. Now, this one was just an absolute shock to read. Popular Demon midfielder forward Lily Mithen is weighing up a move to the Gold Coast Suns. Now, Lily's been at the D's from the start, from when she was drafted to now being 26 years of age. And, I feel like she's been one that's been pushed out of the midfield wing position. Kate Hall's been playing more midfield. They've been playing a few other players through that role. And Lily's been shoved to the half forward line. I feel like she should be best utilised as a midfielder. And that's why I feel like St Kilda should be someone trying to look at Lily Mithen as well. I always said that St Kilda should be looking at players that are moving out of position, but she's weighing up a move to join the Gold Coast Suns, which would involve pick 2, as Gold Coast need to push that pick out, as they've got a bid coming for Havana Harris, who will potentially be pick 1 or 2. Therefore, they need to trade it out before the pick gets chewed up. How the rules work for the bids in the women's is different to the men's. It's a bit more complicated. It's not really public, so it's hard to explain a bit more. Basically, a pick would be pushed back. If it's within 18 picks or something, you can match it. So basically, you have to have a pick in the round where the bid's coming. So it's a bit complicated. I wish they would clearly publicly announce it a bit more and how it works. Ella Heads, who was linked to Carlton, that's not happening. Ella Heads is likely to join the Port Adelaide Football Club in what would be a massive move for the Power and a huge loss for the Swans. Ella Heads to join number 1 pick Loz Young next season just makes Port Adelaide even stronger. They made a prelim this year. You had those 2 stars, and boy, oh boy, well, we were talking premiership contenders of the Port Adelaide Football Club in the AFLW if they had to secure the services of Ella Heads. That'd be a huge win for the Power and a massive loss for the Swans. I know the Swans are linked to Darcy Maloney and a few others, but they don't want to lose Ella Heads. Now, this was also a shock. Carlton are considered the favourites to steal Suns captain Tara Bahana if she was to leave. She's also met with the Saints, GWS, Collingwood and the Bulldogs. But rival clubs expect her to go to Carlton if she is to leave the Suns. A forward, a very good forward too, would be a great option for Carlton. They need some support everywhere, and she's a leader as well, and she'll be their next captain as well. Popular Crow Maddie Newman, who was linked to Carlton, is now expected to remain at the Crows. Star Suns midfielder Charlie Rowbottom is likely to remain at the Suns, despite heavy interest from the Swans, where her brother plays in the AFL side for the Swans. The Swans, not Tigers. Well, this involves the Tigers. The Swans are looking at Tigers preseason signee Imogen Brown. She had an ankle injury throughout the year, not long after she joined the Tigers. Played the last few weeks playing scrimmage matches. She's only 18, 19 years of age, Imogen Brown, and I think she would be a good selection for the Swans to replace Ella Heads. The Swans are also looking at delisted Giant veteran Jazz Grierson. Could be a handy option there to crosstown rivals. The Crows are looking the Crows. Sorry, the Crows are potentially losing Taylor Levy, who is interested in a few clubs, which include the two Sydney sides, Sydney and GWS, and Carlton. And Carlton had Taylor Levy to their four-line stocks, which would be good because they need support everywhere, as I said. Crows, Zoe Prowse and the Dogs duo Alice Edmonds and Ali Blackburn are now all expected to remain. West Coast had been interested in Edmonds and Blackburn, but both are expected to stay at the Dogs. GWS is set to lose backup ruck Courtney Murphy, only just joined them from Brisbane this year, to Essendon. GWS will sign Dogs fringe player Eleanor Brown, and Demon Taylor Harris is still weighing up interest from Hawthorn and Collingwood. I feel like if Taylor can get back to her best, I think Hawthorn will be the best option for her, as they're in the finals mix where Collingwood are rebuilding. Hawthorn and Richmond are interested too in Melbourne tall Georgia Gall, who played as a forward this year. And when Eden Zanker was out, I thought Georgia Gall played her best. So they're one name to look out for the Hawks, and Richmond is Georgia Gall. And if you add Georgia to the four-line mix of the names I just mentioned before, and you potentially add players I just mentioned before, like Paige Scott, it would just make Richmond be even stronger. They missed out on finals. Sorry, they played finals, didn't advance to a semi-final after that loss to Adelaide in Adelaide. Richmond, I think, will be up there again next year. And if they add Paige Scott and Georgia Gall, makes their chances even greater. But some names to keep an eye out on in this trade period. I mean, St Kilda's Georgia Patrikios has been mentioned in terms about if she'll re-sign. And the signs didn't look like it was definitely happening. She's a name to watch. And if the Saints lose their reigning best and fairest winner from last year, I'd be very, very annoyed if that was to happen. But I still expect Georgia Patrikios to stay at the Saints. The Saints, I feel like, though, with other players, they need to trade some out. They need to look at these names that are not getting utilised to the best of their ability at other clubs. Like, look at Anne Hatchard playing more forward line this year. At Brisbane, they've got so many stars in that midfield. They've got Baldors, Ali Anderson, Charlie Mullins, Lily Postlethwaite, Jade Allinger. There's some names that the Saints should be looking at. I mean, there's some names everywhere. There's always some that are not getting utilised to the best of their ability at other clubs. They're the players the Saints should be taking from them clubs and putting them into the position that they deserve to play in. Or someone like Georgia Campbell, who's been thrown everywhere in the rug up forward from the Demons. She's someone we should be looking at. That's some support for Jessie Wardlaw. Because trust me, she needs some support up in that forward line. There's light on for key forward options at the Saints. So, yeah, some names, small forwards. Charlotte Baskerville can play out forward if need be, but can push through the midfield. Names like Charlie Mullins are some of the Saints should be looking at. Courtney Hodder as well at Brisbane. They're the type of names the Saints should be looking at. And in the ruck, well, I feel like we need a good ruck. Bryn Moody from Carlton, I mean, may not be the top 3 rucks in the comp, but she's a very handy ruckman at that. Should be trying to get her out of Carlton. Like, you've got to be bold. The reports say they're being bold. Well, they need to be bolder in trying to get players across like that, because if that's what the Saints want to do to play finals, they need to be fair to about themselves and know they haven't got the best list at the moment, and they need to progress up the ladder to be a serious side. Because I'm sick of us being treated like, hey, St Kilda this, St Kilda that. People laugh at us. We don't want to be laughed at anymore. They need to mean bloody business. And their names, the Saints, should be targeting. Look at the Bulldogs. There's a few players that could be playing midfield that aren't. Maybe some in the back line, like Izzy Grant. Maybe try and get Izzy Grant out of the Bulldogs. I mean, there's plenty of names at a lot of clubs that I've just mentioned some. I mean, if you could try and get Ella Roberts or Charlie Thomas out of the Eagles, my God, you'd be instant finals bound with those 2 stars. If you could get either of them across, highly doubt it. But hey, it's worth a try. You want to be bold? Try there to get them 2 young stars from the Eagles. I mean, there's good players everywhere, and some are getting utilised to the best of their ability. And the Saints and other clubs need to try and capitalise on those players that are being played out of position or out of favour at those clubs. Like even Courtney Jones, someone who's, as I exclusively revealed just before, won't be at Richmond next season. So the Saints should look at someone like her as a trade option or even as a delisted free agent. So, yeah. Thank you for watching this video. There'll be daily trade wrap videos from the Aflw trade period, which starts officially tomorrow. I thought I wanted to get this out there in case there's a lot of trades coming in the next few days. So I wanted to get this information out there in a video form as well. They're all currently on posts, but I just wanted to get that out there in a video form as well. Please share this video around. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow my Instagram page, Aflw Info Live. I greatly appreciate you all. More AFLW trade and draft content to come over the next few weeks. Thank you all, and come on, Saints. Charlotte Baskaran, Barr, potentially Amber Clark, and some other bigger names as well around that would be great. Thank you. Go Saints.